ready, but she'd always make him wait in the hallway in anticipation. He didn't know the night would end up in frustration. He'd end up blowing all his wages for the week, or for a cuddle and a peck on the cheek. Come dancing, that's how they did it when I was just a kid. And when they said come dancing, my sister always did. My sister should have come in at midnight, and my mom would always sit up and wait. It always ended up in a big row.
Anthony fakes, puts it up for the win. It's good. 3rd and 1. Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, touchdown, Green Bay.
Flag in the air in a deep left field. Back goes Kubo for a look, and it's out of here. David Wright gives the Mets the lead with his 13th home run of the year.
Diving stop, David Wright, who's won 2 Gold Gloves. Not a good throw, though.
Joe and John, why do the Mets still stink?
For the record, have you ever used steroids, human growth hormone, or any other performance-enhancing substance?
No.
Little Haven, New York, the third baseman, number 13, Alex Rodriguez.
Sanchez gets hit, the ball is loose, and it's alive. And then going into the end zone is Steve Gregory.
As a professional quarterback, I know there's nothing more embarrassing than running into the ass of a 300-pound lineman.
Brady's back. Brady's under pressure. Brady's chased. Brady heaves one down the middle of the field into the end zone. A jump ball, and it's incomplete. And the ball game's over. And the Giants have won Super Bowl 46.
This is Sports Central with Joe D and John Franchini on WICR.
And we are back, Sports Central. Another edition here. Wednesday night has finally arrived. Joe D here alongside with John Franchini. And of course, tonight we are lucky.
Sack Daddy.
We are lucky to have a special guest in the building. Ian Sack Daddy, Sack Master Flex. He is here. Ian, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, hello fellas. Glad to be back. Always a pleasure joining Sports Central.
And we're glad you're here. We are glad that you are here.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Another frigid evening here outside, but in this studio, I'm melting already.
So articles of clothing are coming off soon.
Luckily, wait, I don't know.
Luckily,
I don't want to see any of that, please. Everyone, keep everything on, please. I don't want to see any of that. That's just come on.
Ian, you stepped into the jungle of talking about the pitiful Knicks.
And I'm glad you said that, because our first topic will, of course, be the Knicks. Because no matter how bad they are, you can never have enough of the Knicks.
I've had enough of the Knicks.
I love bashing the Knicks.
Oh,
I've had enough.
As do I, Ian. Well, the New York Knicks were back in action a few nights ago, falling to the Detroit Pistons, where Carmelo Anthony once again was the only guy to show up on the court. Another terrible performance, another loss. Now 2-13 in their last 15 games, and they played somewhat better against the Pistons. But once again, like I said, Carmelo Anthony, the only player showing up. You had Raymond Felton, J.R. Smith, Shumpert, and Tim Hardaway Jr., who combined for only 8 of 39 from the field, and an even worse 6 for 20 from behind the arc. It was a terrible shooting performance, but what do you expect from a team who's been playing absolutely terrible as of late?
Yeah, it's now 7 straight losses, and really, I mean, they just haven't looked good at all in these defeats. I mean, they're in the middle of a 3-game road trip, so that's obviously hurting them, but they're just absolutely looking terrible right now.
Being active in the season is what's hurting them. They are terrible. Awful. The one thing that finally I saw Mike Woodson do was start Amari Stoudemire, which I've been begging for, and he went 22-6.
You know what?
And he produced. I don't know why he hasn't been doing this in the first place.
Stat was probably the only bright spot of the Knicks
Besides Carmelo.
As of late. Yeah, well, Carmelo's is the only one. He's the only one who has been producing.
If you want a bright spot besides Carmelo, Amari was that bright spot.
Yeah, exactly. Amari was able to produce, and then another sour spot, of course, because there's always more sour spots than bright spots when we're talking Knick basketball, is how about Tyson Chandler getting destroyed on the boards by Andre Drummond?
Andre Drummond's a beast.
An absolute beast.
First of all.
An absolute beast collecting, 26 rebounds compared to the Knicks team total of 40.
Yeah, that's awful.
Now that's something else. That's terrible on the Knicks' behalf. I mean, I'm not gonna. Andre Drummond is a beast.
Well, with the Pistons, they have in Tyson Chandler's defense, they do have Monroe and Drummond down low, which are too much for Tyson Chandler to handle down there by himself. Really, Amari Stoudemire is not going to be doing anything like that as far as defending or rebounding. But in Tyson Chandler's defense, I think he has to cover somebody, and I guess he chose to cover Monroe on the boards, and Drummond took advantage of that. But Drummond really dominates everybody on the boards.
Yeah, but that was just a real stat stuffer.
Yeah, it was
in my eyes.
And Tyson Chandler was not playing up to his capability, although he was never really a big time rebounder.
Yeah, I mean, but what do you look at Tyson Chandler, who does produce really solely on the defensive side, so you would hope that
he can rebound.
In terms of rebounding, that he'd be able to perform, because on the offensive end, he's only good for slamming the ball in.
Right, yeah. But he's not playing on a good team. I mean, look, the team he played
It doesn't mean you can't grab a few extra rebounds.
All right, but
who
other people on the court have to box out for him to get a chance to rebound the ball?
Quite frankly, nobody's doing their job.
Right,
that's
which
what it comes
hurts
down to.
Tyson Chandler's rebounding stats, no?
Yeah, somewhat, but
he's being Monroe, who's 7 foot, and Drummond, who's 7 foot. Tyson Chandler, was he 7'2"? Yeah, he's taller, but he's going to get bodied first of all.
I'm not saying it was a difficult task. It wasn't
definitely a difficult task.
It was definitely a difficult task.
I'm defending him, but again, he's not capable of rebounding to the level of Drummond or Monroe. He's not that type of player.
No, but if he was able to produce a little bit more, maybe the Knicks could have ended that skid. You got to think about it. Giving up 26 rebounds, definitely.
I mean, Raymond Felton and J.R. Smith was.
Well, the shooting, there was a lot. There was a lot that went wrong in that game. But just in general, the rebounding totals, it's already enough that we're giving up a lot of points, and you give up second chance opportunities, it's only going to make it worse for the team.
Yeah, 26 rebounds by a guy is unacceptable for an opposing team to allow. But Drummond is an exceptional rebounder. And also, I think Tyson Chandler's... I think not only Tyson Chandler, but everybody on this team is kind of, throwing in the towel and getting fed up with this entire season.
And it's crazy to even think about at their record right now that they're mathematically still in it.
Because the East is terrible.
And that's just a disgrace. If the New York Knicks make the playoffs, I may boycott the NBA.
No, they're not making the playoffs.
I know they're not.
Joe, I can guarantee you they will not make the playoffs.
I could guarantee you that also. And
I can guarantee you they won't make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, because once Carmelo leaves and Tyson Chandler leaves, then you're really stuck. We got a little background music going. What do we got?
What is this, Joe?
All right, some ESPN. Here we go. Knicks lose 7 straight. Yeah, we know.
Come on, Joe.
But
Joe.
Yes, can I help you?
What the heck is this, Joe?
A little bit more entertaining. This was a little bit more entertaining than what the Knicks have been as of late.
Oh man.
But as I was saying,
come on, we're trying to sound professional here.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay.
Joe.
Yes. What?
Carmelo's staying, number one.
Carmelo is staying.
Yes.
You kidding me? You need to stop screaming. You need to lower the tone and listen to me.
Carmelo's staying, and Tyson Chandler is not.
Carmelo Anthony.
Tyson Chandler is being dangled by the Knicks.
Is not staying in New York.
Where's he going?
Anywhere but New York. I could see him going west to LA or down south to Miami.
You think he's going to the Lakers?
Why not? They have the money to pay him.
Carmelo wants to win. He's not going to play on the same team as D'Antoni again.
Yeah,
he doesn't like D'Antoni.
He wants to win, and he has a better shot at winning
with the Lakers
out of New York. Absolutely.
I think they both stink.
They both stink, but I
think Kobe's on the way out. D'Antoni's not a good coach, and Carmelo and D'Antoni already proved they can't work together.
I understand that, but looking at both rosters, I believe the Lakers have a lot more to show than the New York Knicks.
Well, I mean, the Lakers are going to have that top draft pick, which is going to help give them the edge.
Well, it's not only that. Even if Kobe has one or 2 years, having Kobe on the court is still a threat. Having Steve Nash,
yeah. Nash is going to retire.
Despite his growth,
he's going to retire.
Despite his age, is always a threat. Pau Gasol, always a threat.
What do you think?
I think Gasol is the big difference between these two teams.
Gasol is the big difference.
The Knicks do not have anyone at the level of Gasol. Not even close.
Well, I mean, Amari in his prime was better.
Amari in his prime, but you'll never get that prime again.
Yeah.
You'll never get that again.
I mean, he's banged up every other game.
I mean, here's the thing with Carmelo. Before the season started, there was no question this guy's coming back. Then, they start struggling, and you start to think, oh, maybe he won't. And now they're really struggling, and I can't see him coming back despite what he said during All-Star Weekend. I mean, what? Like you said, he's aging. He wants to win a championship. He's not winning a championship in New York.
I don't think he's winning a championship anywhere.
If he goes down,
that's tough to say.
That's tough to say because if he goes down to a place like Miami, he's winning a championship. If he goes to LA, maybe he'll win a championship. If he decides to want to play some defense and learn how to play some strong defense and go to Chicago, he's winning a championship there too.
Yeah, but he's also got to stop being a ball stopper on offense.
He's not a ball hog. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
on this team, really, who else is going to help him out?
No, not.
I don't blame him.
Not a ball hog, but more of a ball stopper.
Right.
But you saw exactly. But that was the same exact question that came into play when the Big Three joined in Miami. Yeah, they didn't make it their first season, but we've all seen the outcome of that team.
But
the first season they made it to the finals, Joe.
Exactly. They didn't win it though.
Right, but they still made it a lot farther than the Knicks have ever made it with anybody.
I'm not saying anything about making it, comparing them to the Knicks. I'm saying in terms of you're bringing in a guy like LeBron James who was in Cleveland who always had the ball in his hand.
Right.
But LeBron also is an offensive facilitator and made everyone else around him better.
And with LeBron by himself in Cleveland, as far by himself meaning the only superstar on the team, he did get to the finals also. I mean, he did dominate that Eastern Conference.
And
where Carmelo hasn't.
And consistently went 1 round, 2 round, 3 rounds into the playoffs.
Right.
So
Carmelo hasn't gotten out of the second round in his career. Oh, he did once in Denver.
Yeah, once in Denver when they went to the finals. Whereas, like, LeBron, two straight years, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Or no, 1 year lost in the semis, 1 year lost in the finals. So, like...
They lost to the Pistons 1 year.
Yeah. So, like, they consistently were making the playoffs and were getting, a round or two deep, whereas Carmelo isn't. I mean, look, the Knicks right now, like, don't have anyone much more than Carmelo, kind of like the Cavs did with LeBron, and LeBron was making them better.
The Cavs, yeah, but LeBron wasn't making them better, but I think the Cavs have a little more talent than the Knicks do right now.
Yeah. Just you think about that Cavs team with Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Ilgauskas is a better center than anybody on the Knicks.
And Varejao.
And Anderson Varejao, whose career was uplifted because of LeBron James' ability.
Mo Williams is a better point guard than anybody in the Knicks right now.
Exactly. I mean, they did have more talent. The thing is, Melo has the opportunity to win a championship. It's just that he's going to need to adjust his game and his playing style.
He has to. He has no choice.
Otherwise, at 31, he's only getting older and it's going to be more difficult. But I don't think he could continue to stay in New York and expect that.
And do you think that's the? I think that could be a blessing in disguise for the Knicks, to be honest.
You know what? The thing that it's going to be difficult is
it's hard to believe that, but I think it might be.
I think that the team that doesn't have Carmelo is better off.
You know why? You know why I say that? Because the money that they were going to give Carmelo, they'll be free off the cap. And going into 2015, you have guys like Love, Aldridge, and Rajon Rondo who are free agents. And if you can bring 2 of those 3 guys, you have especially Rondo, you have a squad.
That's the thing. The Knicks fans, need to understand that if Melo doesn't return, that the following season is going to be awful, and they're going to need
prepared for that.
They need to be prepared for that because come 2015, there's a keyword here, potential, that they could rebuild that team with a lot of money to spend,
and they'll have a top draft pick.
I think 2000.
I don't know off the top of my head when they have.
Oh wait, no. They don't have it in 16. We went over this last time.
I think they have 14.
In 15 they have one. 2016 they gave it to the Bargnani trade.
Right. Okay.
Because this is the 2014 draft coming up.
Yeah.
They have one
right.
next year. The year after that they don't, which is stupid. Why? I'm not going to get into that. But now the Knicks are playing the Timberwolves the next game, and obviously the whole buzz around that isn't about the two teams. It's about Kevin Love and where he wants to go in 2015.
Who I think, despite him being somewhat loyal to the Minnesota Timberwolves,
and also he said he likes New York, by the way.
He would. I think it's always you always see players who dominate in a small market mostly want to try to venture out and go into a big market, become
like LA.
even bigger than he already is.
And Love realizes that the odds of him bringing someone in to Minnesota to help him win a championship is so minimal that
yes, let's go to Minnesota.
Exactly. There's no appeal.
So that's why he would be more interested in, say, coming to a New York or an LA.
I don't understand why there's
somewhere.
no appeal. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you think about it.
There's pretty good players on that team.
They got some good players, but if you're a player, you're a young kid, and you're down to two choices. You got Minnesota or you got New York, or Minnesota, LA, Minnesota, Miami, whatever.
Big city, big lights.
You're a young kid. Do you really want to go out to Minnesota?
Yeah, no.
Compared to those big cities where you...
In the NBA, I feel like that's the only... In baseball and football, I think that's lessened. In the NBA, I think that's enhanced more as far as going to the big market states such as New York, LA, Texas.
And the thing is that we've now seen Miami join together, start something. Houston try to join a few players and start something. That these big city teams are overtaking the NBA and essentially knocking out the small market teams.
Look at the Bucks, the poor Bucks.
The Bucks. I mean, the Bucks may be worse to watch than the Knicks at this point. And then they're both teams are just as bad. But the Bucks do beat the Knicks. You figure that one out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like we were saying, I think at least Melo won't return. And he just can't afford to wait another year because of him aging.
Okay.
And Tyson Chandler also,
I don't
sure
think
of his
Tyson
future.
Back.
Yeah,
I heard today that they're kind of starting to, realize his potential, like not his potential, but like his ceiling, and he might be dangled in the offseason. I don't blame him for that. It wouldn't kill me to not see him back.
Move on. Let's see. I could deal with an awful year.
Knicks are gonna tank next year.
Well, hopefully it pays off. Hopefully someone stays back in the NCAA draft and we could scoop them up. That'd be ideal.
I heard Parker might stay back.
Well, there's a lot of question. I mean, nothing's official yet. I've heard.
We can't be thinking about that now.
Yeah, you really can't.
You gotta take it one step at a time if you're the Knicks, and that starts with this offseason and who you're gonna bring back. And step one is what's gonna go on with Carmelo Anthony. Step two is address the needs of the team, which seemingly is everything. And step three is the next season and how you're going to go about that as far as tanking, as far as depending on what you did in the offseason.
And quite frankly, it's going to be a very long process, a very long offseason, and it's not going to be fun.
No.
It's not going to be fun for Knicks fans or for the organization for that matter. But we're going to take our first break, come back, get into some more basketball, and talk about the Brooklyn Nets, who are in action. They've tipped off against the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, so we will be back shortly.
I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends. I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends. When I go round